Hey everyone, welcome back to the Astral Tourist, where I wander the multiverse and report back on everything weird, wonderful, and sometimes just plain confusing. This is a short one, but it has some bizarre elements, including a panicking astral double, a Caribbean cruise, a strange biomechanical shower, and even some liquid sunshine. So let's astrally cruise. So here's the setup. I was exhausted from the Lizardtopia adventure and taste testing hydrangea gelato and figured I think I'll just drift off tonight. Okay, so I did some Kuan Yin mantras just, to help clear my mind. And I like Kuan Yin. And it was the Namo Quan Yin Pusa mantra, which in the past I found can be really powerful and other times just really gentle. And so, sometimes I end up with these astral projections with loads of statues around and everything in these wondrous dimensions. But I wasn't really trying to go anywhere. It was just the mantra that came to mind, so I did it. Like I said, I wasn't even trying. So I was laying on my left side and I went to sleep. And the next thing I know, I felt pressure on my right arm, like down through my elbow, even though I was lying on my left arm. And suddenly I just automatically phased somewhere else in a different bedroom, I noticed, and a whole different body. And I quickly realized it's probably an astral double or a doppelganger. And I thought about that because it's happened to me before. Not super frequently, but she was aware of it. At least her spirit was, or her astral energy body was, and she was freaking out. Oh my gosh. And she was looking at me with these wide eyes, trying to understand. And then it kind of came to her as a mix of recognition and confusion, because she recognized my signature, but she was still really confused because she's wondering, is this something going on with her? And then she says, "Help me now." It all happened so fast. Oh my gosh. I'm talking about it, but it was done in seconds, And for a split second, I also thought, is this like a sleep paralysis, or am I dreaming and then I can shift to astral? But I knew that wasn't it. I knew it. If you're in a double's body, if it's ever happened to you, you know it. It is just, the feeling is so strange and unique. So, I didn't even have to try to go back to my body. I just did. It was instant, almost instant, I should say. And I woke up like I was slammed back into my own body, all tingly and everything. So, when I come back in really fast, I often will feel tingles all over. So, that was that one. So I got up, I walked around a little bit before I went back to bed. I did a quick, scan for spirits and stuff, but, nothing was there. I didn't sense anything wrong. So I'm not sure what happened there, other than maybe I, did too much of that mantra or something, or who knows. So I did a little Reiki and tried to reset my brain. And I went back to bed on my right-hand side in case there was some sleep paralysis there. Changing sides can help. So I basically went back to bed on the other side. And that's where the real adventure begins. So I became lucid almost immediately on this Caribbean cruise, knowing I was astral projecting. Things felt solid. But of course, there were a few dream elements also sneaking in because, again, I was tired and not really trying that hard, to focus or anything. But there was this part in it with a biomechanical shower shaped kind of like a telephone box and packed with futuristic looking gears. It wasn't super tiny, but it was pretty small. Cramped but clean with, again, all these different gears and things I just did not recognize. I did true form, telling my brain to translate better, but it just got more shiny. It was super clean. And, a lot of showers in the astral are not so clean. So, that was nice. I could tell it was like a good shower, very strong, sturdy, but rather small, but full of all these gears and things. I decided not to use it. I'm not sure why I was even like looking for a shower, or if I just found it anyway. So it's just part of the astral cruise environment. Really sure that was not a dream element. There's something about that shower. Oh my gosh. And now we'll get to the dreamy elements. So later, at a stop at one of the islands, there's been this ongoing dream overlay about laundry, because the new place I moved to does not have a washer and a dryer. So in the back of my mind, I'm often thinking about, when I have to go to the laundromat and stuff, I guess. I don't know. So I had put 2 loads in a washing machine in this building on this island during this cruise stop, and I forgot which washers were mine. But I remember, I was only semi-lucid here, and I remember I was still in the astral because of the cruise part, and I remember I gave my leftover washing detergent to a nice lady, and I remember that she was really happy. She was even ecstatic. I don't know why, but she was. Maybe she forgot hers. I don't know. Maybe it's just comforting sometimes to do some laundry in the astral, I don't know. So I told her I couldn't guarantee which of the washers were full of my laundry, but she was welcome to the detergent. So that was some, I guess, heartwarming chaos. There was also a small side room with spices, medicines, and 2 fancy alchemy containers. One contained a shining golden liquid labeled D, liquid sunshine. So I think it was probably dream inspired, but it was beautiful nonetheless. And I think that because, it has been darker here where I live due to it being winter. And so it makes sense. My mind would want to fill in the gap with some sunshine or something. So now for some time glitching fun. At one point I asked someone the time, and they guessed 7:30 a.m., but they weren't sure. And again, back to the astral here. I was sure I was astral projecting during this part. And, I thought, okay, the sunlight's blazing. There's an astral time glitch, thing going on here. Remember, time is weird in the astral. So I woke up physically just to check on the time. And I was, I didn't want to sleep in too late this morning. And it was only 5:30 a.m. So I was like, great. And I fell back asleep, not even trying to get back there. But I went right back there. I went right back to the island. And I was wondering when I was back there, should I just enjoy the island or see where the cruise is going next? Because I didn't know how time was going to be. Sometimes it can really stretch out in the astral, and other times not so much. So that's mostly it. So there was the doppelganger panic, the biomechanical shower, which was wild. The laundry overlay, pretty sure that was an overlay. The liquid sunshine, I don't know for sure, but it would make sense if it were an overlay. I didn't check it, with the true form and stuff. And the time warping multiverse stuff. Where time does not always sync with Earth time very well, but 2 hours, that's pretty close. It wasn't too bad, right? So it was a short but surreal astral ride from a panicking doppelganger to a Caribbean cruise, a cramped biomechanical shower, which was also wondrous, and it's with all the gears and everything. I don't know. A joyous detergent handout there, and some golden sunshine in a magical bottle. It's a perfect reminder that the astral world mixes rules, whimsy, and outright weirdness, often in the same scene. So thanks for tuning in. This is just a quick one. So if you learned something new or just enjoy bizarre astral tourism, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Have you ever met your astral double? Or one of them, I should say. There's so many. We all have so many. Or visited an astral island of some type. Until next time, keep your astral passports ready. And remember, the multiverse always has more surprises.